Alright.
Take two. All right, let's go back a little history, Ryan.
Okay.
Candy, Electric Angels, the shirt that I am wearing. Make sure we get this on film. I haven't broke this shirt out in how long? 20 years?
That's the reason why it's still in one piece, though. But that's cool. I mean, this shirt, honestly, you can tell it's not a reissue because there was never more than one printing of it. So, but this is our first concert t-shirts that we have ever had, first official ones when we were on Atlantic. We had some other ones that are like bootlegs and a couple other designs, but this was our first one. We had the picture on it and our signatures in the back. We went all out, two-sided.
Do you still keep in touch with the guys from the Electric Angels or Candies?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I saw Jonathan, the bass player, last week when we were playing in New York City. So we went out. He's doing really well. He's quite successful being a manager and doing a bunch of different business projects. John Stewart, the drummer, moved over to California. You know, I haven't spoken to Shane in a few years, but I know he's popping around New York as well. So yeah, I do actually do.
And can you believe Jonathan? He's a manager of Train at like Courtney Love or Courtney Hall, whatever.
No, it's not shocking to me because he was always the guy that, you know, had a little bit more of a plan B, a plan C of what was going to happen with the band. He always, you know, we had this thing where we were on tour and we would drive up and down the East Coast because we were based out of New York, and we'd drive in our van, and whether it was coming down to play with you guys or going even farther south to, you know, play up and down the East Coast, we would have this thing called front seat theories where we'd sit there and we'd talk about how to break the band and what kind of ideas we would do, and basically a lot of the same ideas he's put into his new bands, and it's not any hard recipe. With his bands, you know, you get young, you get into a van, and you just play. You know, you just play and play and play. It doesn't matter if you're young or old, but you have to play in front of audiences and gather your fans. You know, I always said that we make, whether it's my own band or whether it's me playing with Alice Cooper, I try to make fans one fan at a time. And if I can play a show where, like, you know, even 5 people come and find me somehow on Facebook or find me on my website, and they say, hey man, I enjoyed the show, then I know I've done my work, because I really think you have to earn your fans. You can't just expect fans just to come just because you come from this band or that band.
And speaking more of your history here, I just saw a movie, She's Out of My League, and there was a song in it that I believe you helped write, or I know you played on it, Tal Bachman's She's So High.
Oh, was it in there? Yeah. I did play the guitar parts. That's my solo, and the 12-string bit part, Bob Rock produced it. And yeah, it's one of those songs that it came around at such a strange time, because here I was, you know, playing with guys like Alice Cooper, making a record with Slash, and Tal Bachman came out around the same time, and it was this ultra, came out of right field because it was seemingly pop. You know, it was way more pop and really produced like more of a pop record. But hey, I like the track. A good song is a good song, no matter how you produce it. And it kind of, for me, proved to me that it's not just what kind of music you play, it's how the spectrum of music that you play that kind of builds you up as a guitar player over the years.
And how did you land in the Shakira video?
I never was in a Shakira
You
video.
weren't?
No, you've been reading way too much Wikipedia.
Okay.
Where is that from? And if I am in a Shakira video, please show me the footage, because I love you, Shakira. Someday you will, at least, you know, maybe we can make our own video. I don't know. We can go for it too. No, but Shakira is number 1 from us.
That wasn't you, Ryan.
I was not. I'm serious.
Okay.
Unless I have complete damage.
Get Shakira on the phone right now.
Me and Coop talk about it a lot. We always say, of all the female artists that are out there, the one that's a cut above everybody else, we always say Shakira. She has everything, you know, the tracks, the look, the talent, you know. But enough about Shakira. Me. More about
How about Casablanca? Me.
Okay.
You're the Mr. Elder Statesman here, the young guys in the band. Tell us about this.
Casablanca is a band that is basically, it's drawn from a bunch of other Swedish bands, some popular Swedish bands. Our drummer is a girl named Josephine, who plays in a band called Sahara Hot Nights. One of our guitar players in a band called Melody Club. These are all bands that are popular in Sweden. And so we formed together, compared our record collections, got all the records that were kind of a common base for us, and bands like early Kiss,
Cool.
Thin Lizzy, what else people would say, a little bit early Billy Idol, and we made a record that sort of pays homage to that spirit, but it definitely sounds like Casablanca. Our lead singer, Anders, has a really unique voice, and it's worth checking out. So if you can just Google Casablanca, Ryan Roxie, I'm sure you'll come across this. If you just Google Casablanca, you're going to come up with a lot of things like, wow, I didn't know it was in Africa. It was a movie? Everyone knows it is that, though.
How much input do you have with the Alice Cooper set list or the band? And, you know, sometimes you're out with Maiden and sometimes you guys are headlining. Tell us about it.
Well, that's kind of cool, and it's always cool on these Alice Cooper tours, is that we get to play a spectrum of venues. You know, sometimes we play smaller venues, like tonight, it's like, I think it's about 2,000 between, around that area. But then they go from 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, then when you play, jump on the Maiden tour, you're all of a sudden in 15,000 seat places. And so for me, I like having that freedom and sort of luxury of playing all different types of venues. We do different sets. When we headline, we play a much longer set with Alice, which has a bit more songs, but you know, we pack as much theatrics into the short set that we open for Iron Maiden, as well as the long set. So trust me, I'm completely happy with both. Obviously, you know, the ego side of me says, play the big rock show, play the large shows. But to be honest with you, sometimes it's the smaller shows that give you more satisfaction as a musician, because you really get to, you know, connect with an audience.
Do you talk with Alice though about the set list or the band, band leader? Or
no, the set list, Alice comes up with it before the tour, and he emails it around and says, hey, what does everyone think? Or sometimes it doesn't wait till we get to pre-production, and he says, let's try this song. This song isn't working. Let's put in this other song. So you know, I give Alice a lot of you know, that he knows where at this point what songs work. He's got to pace his voice, you know? So at this point, his voice, he knows the songs which pace his voice the best. He knows the songs that the crowds are going to, you know, yeah, it would be like if he didn't do School's Out or didn't do Poison, you know, there would be a public outcry. So there's certain songs that you have to, you know, you kind of have to do and you expect at an Alice Cooper show. But then every once in a while, you know, every tour, he'll throw in some punches that come from an odd direction. You go, oh, I didn't expect that song. You know? Like
on your headlining tour, you'll do one or two songs now from the brand new Welcome to My Nightmare too?
Yeah, exactly. We're playing a couple of the new ones, and the one that seems to be getting a lot of cool response is a song called Caffeine, because it reminds me a little bit of the older Alice Cooper and Bob Ezrin sort of production, and that's who produced the record. So.
Now, how about, why not Ballad of Dwight Fry? It's in a brand new movie. Speaking of movies, Dark Shadows, have you seen it? Alice is in that, and you're not doing that?
Not on this tour, but I would not count it out for the next, you know? That's the thing, is when I think songs like that, because it is such a, it's a piece, it's a piece of music. And, you know, it's hard to sit there and negotiate which piece of music you'd have to sacrifice in order to put that song in, because I think we do this song called Halo of Flies, which is a really cool musical piece that Alice wrote back in the day, and I think that's important to have in the set. I think we do the long album version of Only Women Bleed. I think that's, instead of doing a shorter version of Only Women Bleed, I think it's really cool that we do the long, you know, sort of classic album version of that.
And how about the Lady Gaga tune you were doing, but I haven't seen it in a couple shows?
I think that was more of a special thing that we did only for Bonnaroo, because we played a festival called Bonnaroo, which we really enjoyed. We didn't realize it was going to get the sort of reaction that it got, but you know, when Lady Gaga starts tweeting about it, that's when the video kind of blew up, and a lot of people went and saw it. But Alice said, you know, look, we can play other people's music if it sort of relates to Alice in some way, and somehow there is a good connection between Alice and Lady Gaga as characters. I think they relate very much to one another. You know, not just their personalities off stage, but on stage as well. You know, I think the whole stories of even though it could be considered different type of music, you know, Alice and Gaga have that sort of, you know, alter ego.
And he brought Keisha into his world too.
Exactly on the new album. But as far as I know, we're not going to do any Keisha songs.